welcome to the channel and my RS2000 WRC Cosworth replica. As you would have seen, we have got this rollover jig absolutely dialed in. Literally zero effort now to spin this thing over. It's absolutely spot on. But I won't lie to you, it did take a few attempts, as you can see there. But we got there, folks. And we've also linked the two ends together as well with another bit of box section through the centre there. So absolutely spot on. Now I have obviously spun this thing over a few times and I've been avoiding trying to look at the underside too much so I can see it just as you're seeing it for the first time almost. But just in the times I've rolled it over, we've got a nice little pile of rust already building up on the floor. So yeah, it's probably not going to look too bonny underneath there, is it? But let me put you on the tripod, I'll spin this thing over on the side and then I'll pick you back up and we'll all have a look, see what's going on. Well, there we go, bit of B-roll. What do you reckon? I reckon I've made this thing in my head way worse than it actually is, to be honest with you. I mean, yeah, there's a few bits. It's going to need a battery tray. Don't really know what to do with this chassis leg here. And I don't really know what I'll do about up around that area in the suspension turret. But generally speaking, it's not that bad, I don't think. Some of you guys might think I'm absolutely nuts saying that, but no, I don't think it's too bad. I mean, we've got tons of patches, like literally patches everywhere, and we've even got patches on patches. But in the grand scheme of things, all Mark 5, Mark 6 Escorts all tend to rot down this inner seal, and they also tend to rot all along this rear chassis leg and that one, and it's common. It's so common for them to rot in them areas, so that comes as no surprise. But there's nothing really else that sort of jumps out at me, really. There's a little bit of rot down here, but that's perfectly manageable. So yeah, I don't know, I think I might need to leave that tube chassis idea until another day, another project when I'm feeling a little bit more confident with my fabrication skills, you know. I reckon we're going to hit this and we're going to restore this now, and then we'll adapt the chassis to suit a rear wheel drive application. I reckon that is the way forward, folks, but you'll have to let me know in the comment section what you reckon. I know there's going to be some of you say, oh, I'll just scrap it, it's part of junk or whatever, but no, stop it, we are going to get on with it. So without further ado and without me waffling on too long, I think the next step is going to be getting some tools out and clearing off some of this underseal and see what we're truly working with beneath that, because at this point in time I'm going to say this is manageable and can be fixed. So yeah, still waffling. Right, let's get some tools out and get on with some underseal. Really looking forward to this. Not. I waited for someone to save. I want to tell you something new. You drove us both into a wall. I drive away into the night and I contemplate for a while. Don't you think about it before the best? If I pack my stuff and leave sooner than this. Don't you think about it before Well, I seem to have a habit of speaking too soon with this thing, so let's dive into it and I'll show you exactly what I found to date. This is the boot floor. Now obviously I would have to cut that out anyway because it had the spare wheel well, but even up around this area it is completely rotten. Still need to fix this area up here and this area here. I mean, there's plates galore all over these rear chassis legs. I did buy some replacement chassis legs which go from about here up to about here, but they're only essentially a cover, if you like. So underneath these that you can see here now are other sections that basically give this some strength and rigidity. So based on what I can see of this here and now, I'm not holding out a lot of hope for there being much structure left underneath that. But then we move on to sections like this, again heavily pitted, just not looking the best. It's the same as we get down here. As you can see, there's been some dodgy repairs, some of which haven't actually been welded in properly anyway. But that is the chassis leg there with numerous holes in it, as you can see. So overall I'm not very hopeful about saving the back end. And then when we move up to the floor pan, I think I might have to go back on my word and say that it's probably not going to be salvageable, not without an immense amount of time and effort being put into it. There's plates all on the chassis leg here. Again, it don't look like the inner structure of that chassis leg's any good. All along here is just patches upon patches. It's not just a patch with a patch next to it. A patch is sat on top of a patch, on top of a patch, on top of a patch. Like this bit here, for instance, this is a patch here, comes down to roughly here. You've got that patch on top of that, which is also on top of that patch there, and also on top of that patch there. So yeah, it's a bit of a patchwork at this point. So John did say about perhaps cutting from here all the way down and basically remove that entire section up to about here, and then just basically make a flat floor with some box section and tube, which isn't a bad idea. But with that rear end looking as bad as it does, and then you go over and you look at all the front where the struts are and things like that, I think overall trying to mismatch tube chassis to normal chassis is just in itself going to make more work, if you know what I mean. So what I'm going to do is, I am still somewhat hopeful that some of this might be salvageable. I'm going to cut some of these plates off just so I can see what's inside and see if there is anything left to work with. And God help me, there's something there. If not, we're going to be getting the grinder right out and cutting this floor completely out and starting from scratch. So let's make some noise.
sorry I'm a dipshit. I'm sorry I'm a dipshit.
Look at that. This one ain't too bad, to be fair. It's just a bit of pitting. I mean, that could easily be remedied. What's hiding up here, I don't know, but I don't want to go too deep into this because it would just waste a load of time. So that is that one. And then we move on to this one. This is inside my passenger side rear chassis leg. Again, rust absolutely everywhere. Rust as far up there as I can see and as far back there as I can see. So that one's not looking too good. This one is in a right state. Again, bits of chassis leg just turned to dust really. Just all falling to pieces. So yep, that one's toast. That bit all up there is all knackered anyway. And then what's really sketchy is this area here. So this here is where the rear beam used to mount. And all of this was just held together by plates, and some of it wasn't even welded in, like this section here, as you can see, it's not even welded there. And it's just so flimsy, not to mention the fact that all around here, as you can see, is pretty much gone through. There as well. So there weren't really a great deal holding this rear beam in, which is kind of ridiculous really. It's all gone up there as well. Yeah, it's just it's not looking good, is it? It's not looking good. I think it is the moment of truth, folks. I think I'm gonna have to go and get a reciprocating saw out, and we're gonna cut that entire floor section out there. What I'm gonna do with that back section, I don't know just yet. So we'll play that one by ear, but this bit is definitely coming out. There's more work than I need to get involved with here. Trying to patch in all of this sill along here, fixing all these rails, fixing the floor pan, which is also rot down there. Not to mention the fact that I've got to cut a dirty great big hole through the centre anyway for a gearbox. So I might as well do away with all of that, start from a fresh slate and go from there, make it my own. That is a lot of work. Oh dear. Right, let's get some cutting gear out and let's get cutting. I can't believe I'm actually doing this, but let's give you a rundown on the plan of attack. So we basically want to cut all the way down the back of this floor pan, right up into here, back down to here where the sill is. Same again up here, and then we'll cut roughly all the way down the sill up to about this point, and then we'll cut down here through these chassis legs, basically going through that line there where the two floor pan sections meet, all the way round and back down to there, and again all the way across there, and then we'll remove that. This is only going to be a rough cut. I will go back in and clean up all the areas where I've cut, but I'll do that once all this is out of the way and I can see what I'm actually doing. So, moment of truth, let's cut that out. Oh my god. There is no turning back now, folks. I have got a goddamn big ass hole in my car. What on earth am I thinking? Honestly. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I must be absolutely mad. Right, anyway, enough of that. We need to crack on. So the plan of action then is a bit of 40 by 40 box down there. What we need to do is make a perimeter around inside there that all the tubular structure is then going to come off from. But in order to do that, we need to cut out some more. So we're not done cutting. We need to lose all of this up to just in front of where the rear beam used to mount. So we're going to lop it off here, lose all of this. We're just going to lose all of this rear seat area because that's not needed. And again, lose all this down here, lose all this rust entirely. There's no point in dealing with that. It's just everywhere, it's shot, it don't need to be there. So we'll cut all that out. And then we also need to deal with this inner seal. Again, rather than dealing with rust and trying to repair rust, I'm going to cut it from here all the way along. And that'll leave me with this flat edge here. So what I'll do is put a 90 off of that down, and we'll pick up on the centre section of the seal that I've made previously. That way, everything is all nice and fresh, ready for the box to be welded to it. That is the plan. So, needless to say, we need to do some more cutting, and I need to put this little beastie thing back into action. This thing, little Milwaukee Sawzall, has been a trooper. Unfortunately, I still haven't bought any new blades for it, and cutting that out took way too long. But this thing's a trooper, and it's going to go back into work, and we're going to end up with some more car in the scrap pile. So I'm going to shut up talking, and we're going to get back to work. Whole evening later, folks, and we are there. I'll tell you what, cutting all this out is a bit of a pig. There's so many layers. As you can see, there's a layer there, 2 more layers inside, plus you've got all the mounting structure for the beam. Yeah, that was quite the challenge, I won't lie. But the scrap pile is now rather large, and my car has got a massive gaping great hole in it now. So if it wasn't clear what I was saying earlier, this little upstand that I'm left with here, I want to put a sheet of metal across that with a 90 on it to come down to here, so I can spot weld all across the top of that and then all the way down this flange here, and then that'll be nice and secure and a nice fresh bit of metal ready for my box section to go on. But like I say, that has taken me all night and I'm absolutely knackered. Who would have thought cutting up a car would be difficult, eh? Especially a rotten one. But yeah, right. I'll pick you guys back up tomorrow when I'm ready to start doing some sheet metal work and hopefully make some progress on this thing finally. And we're back. It's not the following day, it's not even the same week, so I got a little bit tied up watching The Boys on Amazon Prime, as you do. That is a wicked programme. If you haven't watched it, highly recommend it. But moving back onto the car, I have been down here and I have been doing something. So I started clearing out what was left of all the cavity wax that was still up the A-post there because it was bugging me. And let's be honest, it was doing absolutely nothing because this thing's still rot as a pear. So that is now gone. And I've also had to cut out some bits on the car. These bits here, which did go about there because it's got the old roll cage mounting point on there and it's all a bit crusty and horrible anyway. So that's now gone. Same again on the other side over there. So what I have been doing is making up a new piece that needs to go in there like that. So what we need to do is weld that in, and then we can start moving on to making this bit that needs to go over the top here. And then we're getting somewhere. So, get the welder out, get that welded in, move on to the next bit. It is in and it is done, folks. What I've also been and done is chucked a few welds here and there down this seam just to give it a bit of extra added strength as well. But what we need to do now is flip the car over and run a straight edge all the way down here and cut that straight, because at the minute, I don't know if you can see that, but it's a bit all over the place at the moment, shall we say. So we flip this thing over, mark it out, cut that bit out that I don't need, and then we can actually start moving on to some metalwork properly. What a nice straight cut. That most definitely isn't. But it's neither here or there. I mean, it's as near as damaged, so I'm happy with that. But I am going to have to do this section in a couple of pieces, so I'm going to have to do a bit up that end, a bit across here, and then do this back section. Very much the same as what I've had to do on this middle section anyway, really. But one, because I haven't got the bending capabilities to bend up that whole thing in one go. But two, don't know if you can see it there, but there's actually a little step in the panel there, so I'm going to have to do a new bit from about here to the end just so I can incorporate that little step. And then two, I don't know how well this is going to pick up on camera, but if I hold a straight edge across there, as you can see there's a bit of a gap there, and that is because the A-pillar actually creeps into the car a little bit. So if I move this back, as you can see, that then closes up the gap. So this section here is straight up to about there, and then it creeps in and opens up that space. Hopefully you can see that on camera. But yeah, that is basically going to have to be its own little section there, but that's not the end of the world. So I think what we need to do now is go over to the bench, get some sheet metal folded over and cut to length, and then we can pop this bit in, move on to the other sections. there we go, ladies and gentlemen, we are looking good. I'll be honest with you, I have just remade this panel. I'd allowed a 15mm flange to go across here, which, as you can see, this actually tapers out now. So when it was the 15mm flange one, I was having to push that right in, and then it was making this sit at a funny angle in relation to all the rest of it. So that's now redone. Didn't feel the need to show you that because that's just my own stupidity. And now I'm kind of at a point of where I'm thinking about dimple dyeing it, but I'm not too sure if I should or not. I don't know if it's worth the aggravation, because it's quite a lot of work drilling it all out and then dimple dyeing it. So yeah, I don't know. I'll have to have a ponder over that one, I think. But we are virtually at a point now where I need to drill a load of holes in here for spot welding, and then we can essentially weld this in and be done. And then we can move on to this side and get pretty much the same thing done over there. So I'm going to ponder over dimple dyes for tonight. I'm going to go home and have some dinner, and I'll see you boys and girls tomorrow. Pondering is officially over. We are just going to leave that. As John pointed out earlier, dimple dyes inside are only just going to allow crap to get into the seals basically, and we don't want that. So forget that idea of dimple dyeing that. That is going to remain as a flat sheet of metalwork. So that is that. And despite feeling like absolute arse today, I've been down the workshop and we've knocked that side out. So we are pretty much there now, folks. What I need to do is obviously put a load of spot weld holes all across the top, all across the bottom edge there, paint all the inside, and then we can start welding all this thing together and finally be done with this. So next step, take all these back off, drill some holes, and we'll start spot welding them in. Phase 1 complete, folks. Look at that. And then again, this side is all done as well. So I had to put the camera down last night. I felt like rubbish and I just needed to concentrate and just get on with it. So yeah, not a lot of footage of all of that going in, but it is in nevertheless. I don't know if you can pick it up on the camera, but I have stitched every couple of inches or so across there as well, just for a bit of added strength, and same again on the other side. But yeah, not quite what I had planned for this episode, but one thing led to another and here we are. But yeah, that is going to be a wrap for this episode, because I need to go and have some rest because I feel absolutely pants. So thank you very much for watching, thanks for subscribing, and hopefully I'll see you on the next one where we actually get some tube work in this thing. See you then, peace.